Spot on, Preston's Paradise here. Today I'm giving my take on the Husan Longstreet situation. Obviously last night, Husan Longstreet hits the portal. He is no longer a USC Trojan. And I'm just going to say a couple things on it. Like, I'm not going to get on here and bash Husan Longstreet, man. I was definitely hoping for him to be the future at the quarterback position for SC. I thought, 2027 was going to be, kind of his real, point where he was going to kind of step in there and kind of really lead this future roster that is going to be incredible on both sides of the ball. So very excited about that. I definitely thought he was a quarterback in the near future after Jaden departed, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, he was really only one play away from being the starter because, knock on wood, injuries happen. A lot of things happen during the course of a football season, during the off season, during spring. He might even been able to beat out a Jaden Malva. You never know what could happen, right? And we've definitely seen Lincoln Riley play the best quarterback at the end of the day. We saw it, when he had Caleb at Oklahoma. Caleb came in, highly touted, incoming recruit. He had to fight to get that starting spot. Even though he thought he was entitled he thought he was the guy. He had to fight to get to that point. We saw with Jaden Malva and Miller Moss. Jaden Malva had to kind of sit, wait till, it was really time for him to get in there, and he got in there, and, he hasn't left since. And that's really what it takes as a quarterback, to have that mental makeup to push through, to compete, and really to bet on yourself, man, and continue to push and continue to work until it's your opportunity. And once your opportunity comes, you got to seize the opportunity. And that's what it takes to be successful at the quarterback position, man. Win or loss, whichever way it goes, it's going to be on you. Y'all going to get the hate. Y'all going to get the love. And that's why I think it's integral to be the ultimate competitor at the position, man. Think about the things that Tom Brady talks about, him, in his career where he started, and, making everything out of every single opportunity that he had until eventually being the greatest of all time, in my personal opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, at the quarterback position. So Husan hits the portal. What I will say is, it's interesting to me because I want to know where and whose responsibility is it to reiterate to a guy why he committed to a program. Why did you come here, right? We talk about, this is, so important because it means so much for the city. It means so much for, a kid at home to come to a school like this, to come to a program like this, to play for a coach like this, who has an incredible track record, probably the best track record of all time when it comes to quarterbacks, Heisman Trophy winners, just successful quarterbacks that have, had success at the college level and then gone on to have success at the NFL level. We see, the type of season that Caleb Williams is having. We've seen what Baker Mayfield has done at college and at the professional level. We've seen just a sheer number of quarterbacks that he's gotten that have been starters at the next level. I don't even think it's debatable that Lincoln Riley as a quarterback coach, I mean, you could maybe throw in Lane Kiffin, Will Stein. I don't know who else you would throw in that kind of bucket as, developers of quarterback, but I don't even think it's anywhere close to what Lincoln Riley has done throughout his career, whether at Oklahoma, USC, anytime before that. He's really just honed in, and he's the guy. He's the guy. And when guys have come in, when highly recruited, highly touted guys have come in and kind of thrown the cold shoulder at Lincoln, or said, USC isn't the place to meet for me, or, I don't want to wait, 2 years or a year to really, be that guy. It hasn't bode well for at least the guys that have done it USC wise, right? I mean, unfortunately, we've seen what Malachi Nelson, how his career has kind of panned out. I'm not here trying to bash the kid, but, ends up going to Boise State, doesn't play at Boise State, ends up going to Utah. UTEP, plays a little at UTEP. Now he's back in the portal. Who knows where he ends up, right? Dylan Raiola had opportunity to be one of those guys, one of those highly touted guys to commit under Lincoln. He chooses not to do that, goes to Nebraska. Now he's in the portal. Julian Lewis was, committed, kind of played a lot of games in the recruitment process, ends up at Colorado. He's in a strange situation at Colorado, right? So I hope that, Husan lands on his feet and, and has success, right? I truly hope that. I really love the kid's attitude. And I make this video because I'm kind of numb to kids and players jumping in the portal at this point, right? But for the past 2 years, I mean, if you go back to 2024, some of my earliest videos on this channel, I was talking about how happy I was and how excited I was for Husan Longstreet to be the quarterback of the future for this program. So that's why I get on here. I mean, definitely no negativity towards him, but yeah, just unfortunate. I kind of wish he kind of was able to kind of wait his turn, but it's his life. It's his life. It's his decision at the end of the day. And what I will say in his defense is we've seen guys make the decision to hit the portal and have tremendous success. And what I will talk about is Fernando Mendoza, man. And Fernando Mendoza was a guy that when that situation went down, when he transferred from Cal to Indiana, I didn't say it in front of a camera, but I was like, this is a terrible decision. You're leaving a Cal Berkeley education to go to Indiana to play football. And I wasn't even high on Fernando Mendoza at all, to be honest with you. He goes to Indiana, has a tremendous season. He wins the Heisman Trophy. He's slotted to possibly to be the #1 pick in the draft. He may win the national championship in a few weeks, right? So that's an amazing story. But more often than not, we see the inverse of this story, of the Fernando Mendoza story, where guys get stuck in the portal, or, guys are just going from roster to roster, from team to team to team, and the development gets stunted because they're going from stop to stop to stop. So it's different coaches at every stop, different offenses at every stop, and they never play football. They never really end up playing football because there's always a #1 quarterback coming in out of high school that wants to start as a freshman every single year. There's probably 50 of these guys. I mean, the top, all these 5-star, 4-star quarterback, they want to start, man. They want to be the guy when they get there as a freshman. So there's got to be a waiting game at some point because no matter where you go, everybody in that room wants to play. So we'll see where it ends up, man. I definitely wish Husan nothing but the best. But yeah, hopefully it's not. I just hope it's not an Oregon or it's not Notre Dame. If it's not an Oregon or it's not Notre Dame, then God bless you, man. It'd be off to the races. But definitely unfortunate to see you go. That's really it, man. That's my take on Longstreet hitting the portal. And yeah, I'll be back soon to make some videos about something. We got to see what's going on in the portal with SC. Continue to make moves. But if you guys enjoyed the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, man. It's completely free. And yeah, man, I'm just talking USC football on this channel. Fight on. Have a good one.